So now to conclude the three refuges, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So there is some points, kind of general explanations, and there three things. First is, why these three refuges? Why we have to talk about these three refuges? And then secondly, what is the ultimate refuge? And then thirdly, what is the meaning of epistemology of Kunchok, like jewel, Ratna, Three Ratna we call it, and why we call it Ratna, these three. So the first explanation of the three kinds of refuge, the necessity to present three types of refuges. Why it is necessary? There being the teacher, his teaching, and his disciples leads to respective aspirations towards three vehicles and to three different activities of veneration. Viewing this, the refuge is shown as threefold. So now Buddha is the teacher. Buddha is the founder of Dharma, the one who teaches the Dharma, who originally found the Dharma. So therefore he is teacher. Actually in Buddhism, as you all know, Buddha is mainly a teacher. Teacher who has found the truth. So therefore, he is like a teacher. He is teacher. He is not, as in other religions, like he is not God. He is not even like a messenger of the God or anything like that. He is a teacher. But a teacher who knows how to, how to find, how to understand the causes and conditions of all our problems and sufferings and pain. And he also knows, the causes and conditions of their origin, their causes, and therefore he knows how to get rid of them. This stanza, very important mantra. We have this Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. I think most of you know this mantra. Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetun Deshan Cha Yo Nirodha Evam Padi Mahashamana. This I think you know the story also of this mantra. It's not really a mantra, it's actually a stanza introducing the Buddha. the Shariputra and Moggallana, they were, we call Choksongni, the two most important disciples of Buddha. When you see the statue of Buddha, I don't know whether you have it here or not, but usually there is two monks standing in the two sides of the Buddha. And these are Shariputra and Moggallana. And Shariputra is usually thought to be the most knowledgeable, most wise kind of student, and Moggallana most powerful, who can kind of even create miracles and things like that. Most powerful one, these two. And these two actually comes from very, very prestigious, very long, standing, very big, very high, very famous families, Brahmin families, both of them. And they were also very highly, educated and very famous already when they were very small. And then it took a long time for them. They knew about each other for a long time, but then it took them a long time to actually meet, and finally they met. And when they met, they wanted to find a teacher for themselves. And therefore they went to all the possible teachers at that time. There were lots of them, in India. India is known to be the land of gurus, And this present Indian government wants India to be the guru of the world. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this. But anyway, I will not tell that part of the story, but no, I should not say. Anyway, so then, they searched and they went to every, possible teachers, and then they selected one. They found one who was quite a good one. And then they studied with this teacher for quite some time, and then they both became the best student of this master. And this master was quite, well advanced and quite good, not enlightened, but And then one day this teacher died. When this teacher died, then he told them that now I am dying, so please, you too take over my students, and you become the teacher of my students and lead them. And then they said that, it's not, we are not that advanced that we can actually lead them now. We need to, we need to practice and we need to study more, so we need to find another teacher. So they decided to go into two different directions in search of a teacher. And when they went that way, then they made a date when they will meet again in a special place. And then on that date, the Moggallana was waiting for Shariputra, and then Shariputra came from long distance. He was coming, and from the way he was walking, he knew that he had found So he came and then he said, I have found him, And then how he found was this, that he was walking, he was searching all over the places, and then he found this monk, one of the five first students of the Buddha, Kondinya. He was walking to get his food, but the way he was walking was so impressive. He was totally calm, totally, dignified, totally, so different, completely like kind of inhuman, like, very, very impressive. And when Shariputra saw him, he had to go and ask him. He said that, who are you? Whose student are you? And then he said this stanza. What he said was that, all the things, all Dharma, everything is coming out of causes. My teacher is the one who knows those causes, and he is also the one who knows how to transform these causes. And when he heard this, stanza, he became like, he actually saw the truth. He became totally transformed, and he kind of entered into what we call the stream, stream entering stage. He fully understood. And then he said, where is he? Please take me to your teacher. And then he took him to where the Buddha was. And then he said, I must bring my friend also. And then, so that's why this became the description of, the one who knows the cause and the suffering, the problem, pain, the situation, and how they come and why they come, and also how to deal with this. And so therefore, free people from these causes and conditions. Because if the causes and conditions are eliminated, then there will be no problem. So therefore, and then both of them went then back to where the students were, and then said, we have found our teacher, so we are going there. If you want to join us, you can also come, otherwise you can stay here and we will go. So all these 500 students came along and they became Buddha's students, and that kind of make a big boost to the Buddha's. Before that he had very few students. And so therefore, this is the Buddha, the teacher. And so therefore, Buddha is the teacher. And then his teaching and his experience is the Dharma. Actually, as we already went through this, what Dharma is. Actually, the experience of the Buddha, how Buddha sees the world, how Buddha experiences, how Buddha deals with it, his experience is the Dharma. Therefore, his teaching is also Dharma. So therefore, Dharma is this. We call two things, the experience and the teaching. And then Sangha is those people who actually listen to these teachings, study those teachings, and try to genuinely practice. And this is Sangha. So therefore, Buddha is the teacher, Dharma is the teaching, and then the Sangha is the disciples. Now, Buddha, those who wants to become Buddha, who wants to themselves, become fully enlightened and become Buddha, and want to, practice or learn how to become a Buddha. They become bodhisattvas, and they become, the Mahayana. So the Mahayana people, bodhisattvas, is mainly taking the Buddha as their example and wanting to become Buddha. So therefore, for these bodhisattvas, the Buddha is the main example, the main thing. Now, Pratyeka Buddhas, then the Dharma is the most important, because, usually we say that Pratyeka Buddha is those kind of people who not necessarily, have teachers. They could be people, they could be, no teacher, but they find themselves the teaching. They go and investigate and find out, they say that sometimes, they go to the cemetery place and they find the bones and they say, where does this bone come from? Somebody died. And somebody who died, so therefore everybody dies. Oh yes, everything is impermanent. And then go down to, because everything is impermanent, because everything is interdependent and made of so many causes and conditions. And this way you find out, and then you find the teaching, you find the Dhamma. And so Dhamma becomes the most important thing. So therefore, with those kind of people, Dhamma is the most important. So the Pratyeka Buddha is, for Pratyeka Buddhas, the Dhamma is the most important. Of course, for the most of the people, for the for the Shravakayanas also, Dhamma is most important. But their main focus is Sangha, because for most of the Shravakayana, then they kind of follow the rules that the Buddha laid. Sangha. They take, precepts like monks or lay precepts, and then try to live and get influenced with the Sangha. So they learn and practice, and their main kind of what can you say, refuge is Sangha. And from the Sangha they get teachings, Dhamma. So therefore, there's three different kind of people, three different, roles, and, they kind of, how people, three yanas. For that, this three refuge is taught and necessary.
Three different kinds of people, three yanas and three
teacher, teaching, and teacher, teaching, and disciple. That is. Teacher is teaching.
Kinds of people, yeah?
Yeah, this is Mahayana, Bodhisattvas, Prateka Buddha, and Shavakayana. So, with that, these are the three vehicles.
Oh, vehicles, okay.
These three vehicles, there are different ways of. In the Mahayana way of three vehicles is Sharvakayana, Prateka Buddhayana, and Bodhisattvayana. Vajrayana way of three vehicles is Sharvakayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. So it's a little bit different. Now, what is the ultimate refuge of these three ultimate refuge? Here it says, according to this kind of level of teachings, because it's not, usually, sometimes for the beginners, Dharma is the main refuge. Because, the main thing that really helps us is the Dharma, by understanding Dharma, by practicing Dharma. And then, Dharma comes from Sangha, because we don't actually meet Buddha, we meet Sangha, so therefore we need to learn Dharma from the Sangha. And through that, then we learn the Buddha, and then ultimately it is the Buddha, but begins with Dharma. But this is another thing. Now, according to this level of teachings, then it says Buddha is the ultimate refuge. Buddha is ultimate refuge because Dharma, we have two dharmas, one is the teaching and one is the experience. The teaching dharma is something that, like you practice, and once you have practiced, then, you go to the next, and then you get the next. So therefore it's a little bit like a boat. So you use the boat to cross the river, and after you cross the river, you leave the boat and then go away. So therefore Dharma is a little bit like that, the Dharma teachings. So therefore it's not the ultimate refuge. Even the Dharma experience is not the ultimate, because the experience of is many different stages, different stages of the experiences are something that it will be replaced by the next practice and next experience and things like that. So therefore it's not the... So Dharma is very important, but it's not the ultimate refuge. Sangha also. Sangha is even the enlightened Sangha, they say, is not the ultimate goal, because the different levels of Sangha, will change, and so therefore it doesn't have all the qualities that Buddha has. So therefore it kind of keep on changing. And the Sangha, until they attain their complete Buddhahood, is not completely, what can you say, the last stage. So therefore they still have something more to achieve and something more to gain or something more to learn they have to go refuge to the Buddha actually until the last stage. So therefore, it's not the last. So therefore, the ultimate goal, ultimate refuge is Buddha. The translation here is a little bit something a little bit unclear, so therefore I was not reading this, but I can read it, but maybe the French translation is better. Here it says the Dhamma will be abandoned is of an unsteady nature. It is not the ultimate quality, and the Sangha is still with fear. Thus the two aspects of Dharma and the assembly of noble ones do not represent the supreme refuge, which is constant and stable. Then it continues, actually the same thing. In a true sense, only the Buddha is being's refuge. Buddha is the people's refuge. Since the great sage embodies the Dhammakaya, and the assembly also reaches its ultimate goal when these qualities of Dhammakaya are attained. What it means to say is that finally, the ultimate refuge is the Buddha, because the Buddha's the highest or the true Dharma, most profound Dharma is the experience of the Buddha, so it's Dhammakaya. And the highest Sangha is also, the Buddha, because Buddha is the highest Sangha. So, ultimately, Buddha embodies all three refuges, and it is the ultimate, refuge. And then, this is, I think, I should mention this because, when you say that it's not the ultimate refuge, that doesn't mean that it is not important. It's very, very important because for us, for the beginners, it's only the Sangha from whom we can receive the Dharma, so Sangha is very important. Sangha, by Sangha we mean those people who have received and who knows Dharma, who have kind of studied and practiced Dharma in a genuine way, that kind of Sangha. And then, the Dharma is very important because, even how do we, understand who is or what is a kind of a proper Sangha, we know it through Dharma only. We judge Dharma, the Sangha member or teacher or things like that through understanding the Dharma, so Dharma becomes very important, and actually is the Dharma that we need, and practice of Dharma is, and through that then we understand Buddha. So therefore, for us it's important. So then lastly, it's a kind of description or the explanation of the Ratna. These three refuges, it's called Triratna in Sanskrit. Ratna means jewel or gem or precious material or something like that, jewel, It could mean wish-fulfilling jewel, it could mean gold, it could mean like that, Ratna. So Triratna is a Sanskrit thing, which when it's translated into Tibetan, if they translate it literally, it should have become Rinchen. Rinchen is Ratna. But they didn't translate as Rinchen. They translate as Kun Chok. Kun Chok means, Kun is rare and Chok means the most or the highest. The most highest or the most extreme rare thing, Kun Chok. And this Kun Chok is only for Triratna. It's not, it doesn't go for, it doesn't mean anything else. So they, in Tibetan, they made it a very specific word for Triratna, Kunchoksun, unlike in Sanskrit. So in some cases, actually, the Tibetan translation of the Buddhist terms are actually better than Sanskrit. Because in Sanskrit, Ratna means any jewel, you know. So now, why they called this Triratna? Ratna. So there it says, you know, their occurrence is rare. It's rare. There's a, you know, the jewels are not easily available, so it's rare. So in the same way, you know, Triratna, you know, also is something precious and rare. We cannot easily find them, or without, you know, it's something that's not easily understood. So therefore, it's rare. They are free from defilement. Means like it's impure. It's free from impurity. You know? So the jewels, the real jewels, are pure. You know, the pure gold, pure something like that. So therefore, and the Dhamma is like that, free from defilement, free from impurity. They possess power. You know, like jewels, you can, it's precious, so therefore you can, you know, you can buy a lot, you can, you know, but here in the Dhamma, the Triratna also, you know, it gives lots of positive things, so therefore it's powerful. They are the adornment of the world, you know, like the precious jewels. You know, when you put it on, it makes your, you know, it enhances your beauty, and you know, makes it more as an adornment. So the three jewel also is something that, you know, that does the same to yourself. You know, it improves you. So an adornment. They are sublime. You know, the real precious jewels are something that's not ordinary, but something extraordinary and something. So the Dham, you know, the three jewels is also something very, you know, very precious. Very, if you can really, you know, have that or embody that, then you become something totally transformed, so sublime. They are unchanging, you know, like precious material, like even gold, you know, it always remains gold, you know, and it always, you know, is precious, and it, in whatever form it is, it always the same value. In the you know, in the in the case of the Triratna, it's kind of the ultimate goal, ultimate refuge. So it's not changing, it's unchanging. So therefore, because of these 6 kind of similarities between the Ratna and the Triratna, so this is called Triratna. But this, in Tibetan words, it's called Kunchuk. It's rare and sublime. So this is just a, it's an epistemological thing, but it's like that. So I will stop here, and so we have done the 3 Vajra points, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and now 4 Vajra points left, which is actually more a major part of the book, and then slowly, we will try to cover them. So, any questions?
Des questions?
Yes.
Pourquoi on dit qu'il exauce tous les vœux?
When do we speak about wish fulfilling jewel?
Huh?
Why do we speak about a wish fulfilling jewel? What does it mean?
Oh yeah, wish fulfilling jewel is something very nice. It's a kind of it is I don't know whether you can say legendary, but it's a legendary thing, jewel, wish fulfilling jewel. And this jewel is supposed to be, blue in color, and as big as one hand. And if you find it, if you have it, then you should first wash it in seawater, then wash it in sweet water, then wash it with milk, and then you put it on a banner, and then you make a wish. There may be all kind of food, or clothes or whatever, and then there will be a little bit of rain. This is how it's said. I'm just quoting. There is a little bit of rain, so the dust is settled. Then there will be a little bit of wind, so everything becomes clean. And then whatever you wished just comes from the space, and so whatever you want, it happens. So that's wish fulfilling jewel. But here it's just Ratna. Ratna is not necessarily a wish fulfilling jewel. It could be a wish fulfilling jewel, but things like that. That's it's an Indian. There are lots of stories, mythologies about wish fulfilling jewel. Yeah. But there is also another story. You want to listen to that? Somebody had a wish fulfilling jewel, and he lost it on the beach of and then now it's so many stones and so many things there, he can't find it. So he brought lots of people, then you have to find it, but they couldn't find it. So he said, let's do one thing. Let's take out one stone and see if it is wish-fulfilling jewel or not. If not, let's throw it into the sea. And this way, we will be, able to find the real one, and then we don't throw it, we keep it. So they were doing that, this not, and they found it, and they threw it. I don't know, this is just
how can we take refuge in the Buddha if, as you said, he is not here anymore, he passed away, and so we can't meet him anymore, and so the only way we know about him is through the writings. So how can we take refuge in someone who is not there, who can't?
Two ways. One is as a teacher. So teacher, his teaching is there still. Yeah, many books and all the teachings. So that's why we take him as the teacher. So he's, you can, taking refuge is actually is mainly, regarding him as a very good teacher. And so, it actually, what we have to do is to study his teachings, no? But there's another way of taking refuge is that it's not the Buddha outside, but, the Buddha that, when we explain the Buddha here, it's explained, the ultimate nature of ourselves. So to take refuge in that Buddha is that I want to awaken that Buddha, that quality in myself. And so therefore, in order to do that, then I would like to study and practice Dharma. I would like to take the help of the Sangha for good influence and teaching. So that's taking refuge.
Generosity is represented with a wish-fulfilling jewel.
Yes.
And in certain stories, it would have. It says that it had been given by the king of Nagas to Generosity. Could you say something about that?
Maybe. Yeah. Nagas seems to from this kind of Naga supposed to have lots of jewels, and things like that. So why not? Yeah. But it is, I think, also a kind of a symbolic. The jewel is, or wish-fulfilling jewel is a kind of symbol of compassion. Yeah, compassion. Because, like wish-fulfilling jewel, supposed to bring everything that you wish. So in the same way, if you have compassion, then it is supposed to bring everything good for yourself and everything good for others. So it's representing. So therefore, jewel and lotus, lotus is representing kind of something pure, what can you say, undefilable, because lotus flower is supposed to have some chemicals on it, that even if it's growing in the most dirty and kind of dusty place, it looks completely, pure or impeccable. Yeah, so that's why it represents. It's been the symbol of purity and immaculate kind of pure nature. So therefore, it represents wisdom. So thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Solam de kamje zeba ne tone ne be dalam pa chega nanche wala tuba suben sole doa shu shangchu sanchu ma che panam seju je she pa nyama me koni konde pe warai